Every once in a while, I encounter a topping I really want to put on a pizza, but I just haven't quite had my moment of zen of how it's all going to come together. That's what we're covering today on this episode of Pizza Time. The topping in question, the Shishitos. Also, a similar one to this is Padron, but today we got the Shishitos. I love these type of peppers. You usually experience them in a tapas form, cooked very simply. And something high heat, usually over the stove, but you can do them in your wood-fired oven or your uni, just get them nice and blistered. But, on a pizza, I just didn't really feel the vibe. Then the other day, I had my moment of zen, paired with some nice briny olives. It all just came together. This is a delicious pizza. So one of the things that I figured out is, when I'm calling it a shishito pepper, I want that pepper in every bite. So I'm going fatty today. I already roasted some off, chopped up. We're gonna sprinkle those all over the pizza. But the whole fun when you're going out getting some tapas or Japanese food, where the different spots where you encounter these type of peppers. The fun thing is you usually get a big bowl, some sea salt or something on top there. It's simple. You just kind of pulling pieces off. Some are hot, some are not. And it's a fun experience. So I'm like, let's put some whole ones right directly on the pizza. But first, I'm gonna show you, we'll roast these off a little bit in the oven. But along with this, we got some red onion. I feel like that really brings it together along with those nice briny olives, a little bit of oregano and fresh mozz. But let's get to it. That's sweet on this, with these uni rigs or whatever type of oven you have. When it's heating up, you can utilize that to roast off some toppings. That's what we're gonna do today with the Padrones. I keep saying Padrones. These are Shishitos. Always remember, people say those are interchangeable. I think here you could use either, but there are definitely two different peppers. I feel like the Padron, it's a little more delicate, especially in the texture. I really like it. That's my favorite. I think they're harder to come by, at least here in Santa Barbara. The Shishitos are pretty easy. A little thicker wall on there, a little more of that vegetal flavor, but I don't think that's a bad thing. It's a bomb pizza. Let's get this thing roasting. So I got it cranked up. That's what I'm always doing when I'm preheating the uni. Got that thing pretty much, it's at full blast right now. I want to get that stone heated all the way to the front, even if I'm going to turn it down a little bit to cook, because you want the heat all the way out there, and that's where we're going to cook these peppers off. And so it's really easy. You can just put them right here. I like to stick them right on this front side, right up in the front here, right by the flame. That's a nice little hot spot because we got the flame coming off right there. Just right there onto the oven deck, nothing fancy. Be careful because it is really hot. Tons of heat cranking out of here. And we're just going to look, that's what they say. It ain't crip. If it ain't crackling, I'm hearing it crackling. That's a good sign to me that we're going to have a good time. You can just kind of move these around a little bit, looking for some little char on these. And remember, we're going to put them onto the pizza again. So we don't need to cook them fully through. But with the Shishitos, it's like a little thicker wall. I like to get a little pre-roast on them. But you can just put them on straight raw onto the pizza if you wanted. But I thought this would be a fun thing to show you. These things roast off, it's pretty quick. Like these are almost done right now. I'm gonna pull them out. Looking pretty good. You see that there? Some nice blistering. I'm into that. We'll get more blistering when it's actually on the pizza. But these are looking good. I'm gonna get my natty dough stretched out. Meet you back on the marble. We'll get this thing built, load it up, watch it bake, and then the best part, give it a taste. It's pizza time. I got my natty dough all stretched out. The recipe for this is up on santabarbarabaker.com on the blog. Naturally fermented sourdough. I've been having good results with it and hearing good feedback. Hopefully you guys can try it out too. I'm starting out with the sauce. And that recipe is up on there too. But if you've been following me for a while, I just keep it real simple. Only using the best quality tomatoes. Seasoned just with salt, that's it. But today I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of oregano just directly on the pie. We'll just do a nice little coating, 1 ladle full. Got my oregano, just doing a little sprinkle of this. I feel like that really brings all the flavors together. It's a little breezy here, so you gotta watch it when that's like getting onto your workspace there. Not really a good thing when that thing launches in the oven. That's looking pretty good. Next, we'll go with the mozz. I'm always adding this. I like to start from the outside, working my way in, going for, that kind of like little like artisan splotched look, for lack of a better term. We'll go like, pretty generous here. I like, just the right amount of cheese, we'll say, whatever that means. but you want to have always putting enough toppings on there so your dough does get some weight on it. That prevents it from popping up as it bakes. We want it to rise, but in a good way. This is looking pretty good. I don't know. My cheese arrangement today could leave some improvement, but it's so far so good. All right, what are we gonna do next here? Let's hit it with the red onions. Like I said, I feel like the red onions, when I was making this pie the other day, just really kind of brought it all together, along with that key ingredient, the olives, like I was saying. The olives, that briny, salty, I don't know, when that hit with the Shishitos, it really, really worked for me. Hopefully you guys will dig it too. I was into it. I'm excited to try it again. We'll hit it with the olives now. Like I said, if I'm gonna call this a Shishito pepper pizza, I wanna have plenty of that in every bite. So I'm gonna hit it up next with the chopped ones that I already had roasted off earlier. We're going big. Oh, look at that, an olive right here. You always wanna make sure if you goob it and get something on your workspace to clean that off fully, because when you pick it up you can have some trouble. All right, let's just get this stuff on here. It's looking good, and you remember we left some whole to put those on there. That'll be kind of a fun thing to have a whole big bite of one if you want. But we'll hook up the homies and we'll take off the stems. Nobody wants to eat a stem. Put one in the center, another one over here. This is looking pretty good. All right. On to it, making sure everything's arranged pretty nice. It's looking good to me. My glasses are falling apart. All right, one final thing. A drizz of olive oil. I got the uni heated up on full blast right now. I'm gonna turn it down right before it goes in, but let's get this thing loaded up and watch it bake. Shimmying this right onto the peel. The final time to stretch, always working fast. It's warm out here today, so that makes things stick even more. I like to just pull it one more time out to the full extent of the 14-inch peel. Going for, as big as we can get here. Oh, look at, why am I going so long? I really like to get them kind of round. There we go, let's get it in there. All right, got the timer starting. We're gonna go for the Santa Barbara Baker standard bake in the uni. That's where we're gonna do. It's about 3 to 4 minute range. I heat it up super hot at first, crank it all the way down just before loading. We'll do the first, few turns like that, then go even lower into that ultra low zone, past the lightning bolt into the ultra low to finish it off, making sure we get a nice crispy bite. I'm about 30 seconds in. This is when I'm looking for my first turn. I was seeing some bubbles when I was stretching, and you can see them expanding there. A little sketchy, but we'll see. I see some leoparding looking so far so good. Always looking here when I'm gonna go for the first turn. It looks looking like it's ready there, but here, that cheese isn't really melting. I'm a little sketched, but I'm going in. All right, so far so good. Almost a minute in, some nice leoparding there. Crust the dough felt nicely proof this morning. So was all perked up. I was into it. So far so good. We're a little over a minute here. When you do that turn, if you're feeling a little sticky, this is not the ideal thing to turn on. I just got it rigged up because I don't have a turning peel. But I can feel in there it's a little sticky, so I'm letting that set again before the next turn. Almost a minute 30 in here, going in. Going in, see, looking pretty nice. That looks good to me. Like that nice brownie, a little dark there on that bubble. That's why I kind of recommend when you're seeing those big bubbles around your crust when you're shaping, I like to pop those because, working in a really hot oven like that, they typically burn. If you're inside on the steel, I wouldn't worry about it so much, but high heat, definitely keep an eye on it. Minute 47 in. All right, I'm gonna go for another turn. When it's right now, you wanna just keep working this one pretty good. So we're making sure we're getting that first kind of bake in when the oven's really hot, and we're just gonna let it finish off. Look in there, so far so good. I'm checking that bottom. I'm thinking now I'm gonna go probably pretty quick here into that ultra low zone. I just is turning it up all the way in there, get it all the way down. There we go. All right, looking pretty good. We're 2:30 now. This thing is finishing up now. I feel like I'm seeing nice browning on the bottom. Oven was really pretty hot. You got some a little bit of too much char there. But like I was saying, you can kind of just pull it let those darker spots just hang off the edge of the oven a little bit as this thing finishes up. Looking pretty good. 3 minutes in here. I'm just looking for any last little browning spots. But you also want to make sure that you keep this thing turning because that back of that oven's so much hotter. If it does even looks a little underdone, you want to keep it rotating though because it's so cool out here. That's how you end up with half your pizza burnt. On the bottom, that is. So far, so good. Oh man, this thing's got to be dead. Oh, let's pull it out. We're a little over 3 minutes. Look at this thing. You know, that big bubble, that's what I was talking about. Overall, it looks pretty good. Got those full shishito peppers on there. It's looking heady, nice brownie on the crust. Right onto the rack like we always do. Let that crust set. I like a crispy bottom. No soggy slice, dumping the whole thing. Let it set there for about a minute. Gonna slice it up. Meet you at the table. We'll give this thing a taste. It's pizza time. Oh, wow, the smell coming off this pizza is unreal. Those peppers, man. This is like what I feel like a green pepper dreams it could be. You just smelled it when I was cooking in that oven. Like I said, it ain't cripping, it ain't crackling, and it was crackling there, smelling so dank. The shishitos, we got it loaded up on this pizza, chopped up, and then the fatty whole ones, you can't even really tell anymore, but they're in there. Hopefully every slice gets a bite of one of those fatties. The bake went pretty good, you know? I was mentioning as we were baking that I saw when I was stretching some big fat bubbles. That's what you end up here, some of these ones. When it hits that high heat, you're gonna get some burnage. So if you don't like that, pop them. If you do, leave them as is. If you're baking inside or maybe a little lower heat, I wouldn't stress on them too bad. Overall though, the bake looks pretty good to me. I like that. It's like nice browning in here, leoparding. The bottom looked pretty good. So let's give it up, picking up a slice. I mean, this is like my standard bake again. Heating that Ooni oven really hot, turning it down just before I load, but that deck is cranked 850 plus, getting it on there for most of those first few turns on that low temp, then even going lower past that lightning bolt in the ultra low zone to finish it off. So we get a slice like this that you can pick up. Look at that, nice brownie. It's baked through, looking really good to me. I want a slice you can hold, but still foldable. We don't want it dry, but let's give it a taste. The best part, I can't wait to get in this thing. Boom, there it is. It's those olives coming into play. That really, I feel, is the trick on this one. I was struggling figuring out the way, my moment of zen with these shishito peppers of how to make this fire mouse. Because I just like snacking on those things. I'm like, how are they gonna work on a pizza? That all of that briny taste coming in there just brings it all together with those red onions, the oregano, the fresh mozz, all riding on the heady natty. It's doing really good today. Day 3 on the fermentation. This is a great pie. I hope you guys check it out, make it. It's up on SantaBarbaraBaker.com. Check out the blog, Santa Barbara Baker on Instagram. Baking up the fire most natty. I got other dough recipes coming on the way though too if you're not a sourdough person. But this is Hetty's. Hope you're dreaming about pizza, living pizza, staying well out there. One love.